This is a collaborative discussion amongst three friends.
You are a bandwagon Swiftie.
Wow.
LaCroix.
How have you never had a Choco Taco?
Well, I don't know what a Choco Taco is.
Do you do MMA? Because you're really wide.
So tell me, what's in your beverage center?
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No, my eye twitch isn't bad right now.
Let's talk about the process. How are we going to help you obtain the best home at the best possible price, terms, and conditions that we can? Welcome to episode 22 of Shootin the SHT. I'm Nick.
I'm JT.
Welcome. How's it going, John? It's been a while.
It has been a while. We've been, people have been asking where we've been, and I've told them, you just have to hang in there. We're revamping things a bit, but that we would be back.
We'll save the future of the pod for the end of the episode, but we'll just kind of dive in, cover a few things. What's new in the life of John? It's been a while. It's been, about a month and a half since we've recorded, so we have been slacking. What's new?
I couldn't even tell you. I feel like I've just blacked out this year. Kids are growing. Kids are crazy. Weather's warm. We're plugging away. I don't even know.
Do you have a drinking problem?
How about you?
Done? You just blacking out left and right here? What's happening?
No. I have a sleep problem. I have two young kids. I have a sleep problem, is what I have, my friend.
Yeah.
How about you? What's new?
It's been a lot going on, It's been field hockey season. Had a lot of tournaments lately. Been up in Syracuse, New York. Been in Epping, New Hampshire. A lot of different locations for that. So that's been something else. We had a lot of Zillow go on between now and in our last episode. So we had Zillow in our office for a commercial to get shot, including some of our top agents and how they utilize Zillow and Zillow products each and every day.
Yep.
And I was in California for a Zillow Agent Advisory Board meeting the following week, and then we went to New York City for a Zillow Flex Team Mastermind.
That's right, we did. That was a great day.
Yeah, so we've had a lot going on that.
Yeah.
On that standpoint. So
Zillow has taken off with the team.
Certainly has. Tell me about that, John.
So we've been on Zillow Flex for just over 3 months now. Our ramp up period has concluded. Gates are open and they are forecasting us for 100 connections this month. The past repeats itself from past months. We're going to exceed what they forecast for us, which would have us over 100 connections this month. So we have some agents that are absolutely killing it, but we need help, really. We have a lot of connections coming in, and we could use help, to say the least.
Cool. So, definitely. So if any agents are out there kind of wondering where their next deal is coming from, where their next phone call is coming from, we've got solutions here on the Slocum Home Team. So super excited to explore those going forward. John, I just shared the show notes with you, so super prepared as always. We'll certainly improve upon that. But wanted to touch upon a couple of different recent industry news topics. Since it's been a while, market's certainly changing. We've been in the thick of the spring market here lately. You feeling that on your end, JT? What's going on? You got the eye twitch going, the spring market eye twitch, or what?
Spring market eye twitch, spring market hand tingle. It's all happening. But
I'm worried about you, buddy.
We're making it through.
I'm worried about you. What can we do to help JT get through the spring market? So
it's a good problem. Spring market is a happy problem to have. So board is growing, closings are happening, agents are putting them under contract. Life is good,
Cool, love it. All right, let's jump in. Realtor.com came out with their most recent market report, the April 2025 Housing Market Trends Report, to be specific. And they have indicated that inventory growth has been continuing, up 30.6% year over year, JT. That's the 18th straight month of growth, surpassing April 2020 levels. How you feeling about inventory these days, buddy?
It's all local. We always talk about real estate being local, and inventory locally is up. It is up. We had been hovering around about a month's worth of inventory. We like to talk about month's worth of inventory, meaning that if no new houses came on the market based on the average number of sales over the last year, how long would it take for the current listings to be scooped up? We've been around like 0.9, 1, 1.1, kind of teetering in that territory for a couple of years. And I was running some for multifamilies yesterday in the northern part of the state. That's still around 1.2, but overall, we're in the, we're pushing that 2 months worth in a lot of Rhode Island. So it's certainly up, But by the numbers, very much so, still a seller's market. We could certainly still use more inventory for the buyers that are looking. Now, there's a lot of national headlines out there that would tell you that the script is absolutely flipped and it's now a buyer's market. But keep in mind, a lot of that is in places like Florida and Texas and other markets where it truly is, in fact, a buyer's market.
Absolutely. We'll dive into that too. But basically, the inventory locally has nearly doubled. Still a strong seller's market based upon the supply and demand metrics, as JT had mentioned. But yeah, we are in a different market than we have been in recent times. Some
Hmm.
other stats from this national article from Realtor.com: total homes for sale, including under contract homes, up almost 20% year over year. Pending home sales, though, down 3.2% year over year, as higher mortgage rates are slowing demand. So it's pretty interesting. While national headlines and even local market trends showing decreasing home sales, boy, are we feeling that on our end, JT? What do you got on that standpoint?
No, things have been great. We're seeing as Nate said, a big flow of new listings, tons of pendings, and they're closing. They are pending and they are closing fast here.
We have
So
the
we've
highest
been,
number of pending sales, I believe, since 2021. So
Mhm.
for us as a team, so certainly
Yep,
things are cooking with class, you know. So
absolutely.
absolutely. So cool. All right. Some regional differences on new listings. The West has seen listings increase almost 42%. The South up almost 33 and a third percent. Midwest up almost 19. Northeast in the lowest level there at 12.4% of an increase there on new listings year over year. So still certainly seeing things picking up, more opportunities for buyers out there. Sellers need to be more
Hmm.
strategic on pricing, presentation, staging, making sure their home stands out in a bit more of a crowded market. So cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, time on market continues to increase a little bit nationwide, up to 50 days, up 4 days year over year, but still below pre-pandemic numbers.
Hmm.
And they have said it's always important, and we've always said it's important to know your local markets. Northeast homes have been selling even faster. So Northeast is a different market. I think Redfin just came out and said that the Providence metro market, is one of the top 7 sellers markets in the entire country.
Absolutely. So it's all local. You need to know how these national headlines relate to your local market.
Absolutely. Cool, cool. Prices. Realtor.com says the national median list price is nearly unchanged from last year, up 0.3%. However, one thing that's interesting is 18% of listings have seen price reductions, the highest April share since at least 2016. So we're seeing price adjustments
Hmm.
much on the increase there. So how you feeling about that, John? You seeing price cuts here? What are we seeing?
I've seen some, which was unheard of for a few years there. We have seen some, not many. But it does tell us that, with even going from a month's worth of inventory to two, for these sellers that still want to just shoot for the stars and go to the top of the market or beyond, the market's gonna listen to the price. It's gonna speak to them as far as how they are priced compared to the market value, and those sellers are gonna have to chase down the market. So a good pricing strategy is still key.
Absolutely. I mean, today's closings are April's prices. That's when homes hit the market in April. Inventory was lower. It's increased
Hmm.
substantially since then. So these closing prices that we're even seeing right now, again, are reflective of market conditions 2 months ago. So it's
Hmm.
important to work with an agent who is on the forefront of what's going on in the local marketplace, who knows how to interpret the data and provide you with the best recommendations possible for the most successful sale, the most amount of proceeds, in the least amount of time. So there's just a quick
Absolutely.
update there. So that kind of covers the Realtor.com report. Anything you want to add there, JT? Or
Nope. Think we got it.
cool. Dropping down the Zillow market trends, they brought out some new recent stats too, and specifically called out the Providence metro market, where we are in a competitive hotspot. The Northeast heating up, and they mentioned metros like Buffalo, Hartford, Providence, and Boston are all ultra competitive with over 10 engaged home shoppers for every available home. That's an interesting one.
Some competition.
10 engaged home shoppers. For every available home. I'd love to see how that kind of correlates to views and saves and shares on Zillow. We'll have to start kind of diving deeper into that number.
Hmm.
Okay.
I didn't know if you're going to keep reading.
Typical homes in these markets sell within 10 days. So most homes, I think the days on market stat has always been kind of a misleading one, because many agents do change status updates in our local MLS to something like active under contract, soliciting backup offers, inspection period, things like
Hmm.
that. And days on market continues to accrue. So one thing I would love to add in the future is a days to contract stat,
Hmm.
because I think that is the number that tells the story about the true demand that exists in the marketplace for that home.
Yeah, currently how it is, at least here in Rhode Island, is it could go under contract in 5 days. But if they from then have a 60-day close, the days on market is going to be 65.
Absolutely. Cool. So the Sun Belt's cooling off, unlike the Northeast, less competitive down there. Offers the best chance for buyers right now. So again, as you see these national headlines, these articles, this clickbait, just know that every market is different, and specifically the Northeast is trending in a much different direction than the majority of the country right now.
Hmm.
Some other areas where engaged shoppers are showing that demand in a fast-moving market beyond the Northeast: Richmond, Raleigh, San Fran, Portland, and Sacramento. Other hot spots right now as well. So the Northeast is still on fire. That's for sure.
Sizzling.
Cool. Wild card. What would you prefer to live without your thumb or a big toe?
I think I'd have to lop off a toe because you need the thumbs to really do things.
All right, three for three. That's a terrible question. Would you rather live without music or without movies for the rest of your life?
I could go without movies.
I'm with you there. Keep me.
I On Nate's comments though about the soundtrack and all that, I told him yesterday we've probably watched Lilo and Stitch a dozen times. It's definitely low over the last week in my house.
Yep.
And the original Lilo and Stitch has a very catchy soundtrack.
All right, let's throw another one on there. Would you rather be forced to wear Crocs to every formal event, or a tuxedo or suit to every casual event?
I get to wear comfy Crocs to every formal event. Oh yeah, sign me up. I was grilling in my Crocs last night. It was so comfortable. Get me a pair of black Crocs and I'll wear them to weddings, galas, you name it.
I have my tie-dye Crocs. Those things go with everything. So, all right, what else is new, John? Talk to me about the future of this podcast. What's going on? Why have we taken a little bit of break beyond the spring market and a million things going on? But what are we hoping to do with this pod here going forward?
We've been revamping and trying to. Nate's been playing with this Riverside platform. We've been speaking
Excuse me. I
to.
think we started playing with it about 35 minutes ago. But
Shots fired. Anyways, speaking to potential guests, and we started booking some guests for the future of the podcast. Big names, could call them heavy hitters in the real estate industry nationally, to try to bring as much value as possible to our listeners in regards to the real estate industry, what's happening, best practices, tips of the trade, and how to really level things up going forward.
yeah, so we're certainly still gonna, intend to keep a lot of the fun things like these hypothetical questions and have some fun and some laughs and chop it up. But more importantly, as opposed to just kind of sharing recent news in the industry, I'm sure we'll touch upon that kind of stuff in interviews, but more what's working for other agents, what's working for top industry leaders across the country. I'm sure we'll learn a ton. Hopefully, our listeners will learn a ton. We're excited to take these tactics, dive deeper on topics, and just kind of see where things evolve from that standpoint. So as John said, we got some big heavy hitters already lined up. We're recording an interview here in a couple of days, so this is just kind of a quick pod to bring everyone up to speed on where we're headed, why we've had a little bit of a break, and we're super excited about where it's heading. So we've got a lot on the agenda, on the docket for the future, and we're pumped to see where it goes. So
All right, well, I'd say that's a wrap on this one.
rate the pod.
Um, I'll give it like a 7.2. I'm excited for the new platform, but beginning was a little lacking in energy, kind of weird with the new platform. So I think we righted the ship as it went along.
Yeah, I think this was more of just a quick update, just to kind of feel out, get a feel for the new platform, work out any kinks, make sure Nate feels comfortable with it, and I'm excited for our guest to jump on here in a few days. I'm sure she's going to bring a ton of value, and super excited to see what happens there.
Absolutely.
But this pod 6.2. I mean, Nate.
Oof.
I mean,
Oof.
I prepped the agenda 20 minutes ago. You didn't even read it till we started recording, so. That's not a shot at you. I didn't give you any notice, but
I had someone in my office. Nate's yelling at me, "Get on the pod!"
we'll be very prepared for our interviews and going forward. We're excited to bring more and more value to our listeners, to the agents in our market, and agents wherever you may be. So we're pumped. Let's move forward, onward and upward.
That's right.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Shootin' the SHT. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. And if you enjoyed this content, please share it with others and leave us a rating and a review. Buying, selling, or want to connect with Nick and JT? Visit Slocum Home Team on Facebook and Instagram or slocumhometeam.com. We'll see you next time.